want to go to one of our questions from the website from Marilyn. And she says, following breast cancer treatments and an aromatase inhibitor, I've crashed from the aromatase inhibitor. Said I was doing great until I started taking it. Now I'm on my second one. My labs are good except for high cholesterol. She says, however, I stay anxious and bloated and tired and ready to give up after being on the aromatase inhibitor for 8 months. I've also been in counseling since February of 2021. What can I do now? She says, I usually bounce back, but haven't this time.
Is she done with the treatment now or still getting it?
Still taking the aromatase inhibitor, it sounds like.
Because, I mean, one of the things that I've already said, picture yourself several times a day getting the aromatase inhibitor therapy and not having any side effects, feeling wonderful, having a big meal, being active. You got to reprogram your body because it's trained to have the side effects now. It's really a hypnotic effect. That on my website, berniesiegelmd.com, I wrote an article called Deceiving People into Health. I lied to people all the time to their benefit. And I did a lot of children's surgery. And just so you understand an example, you take an alcohol sponge, rub a kid's arm and say, this is a new sponge. It's going to numb your skin. You won't feel the needle. 90% of the kids said, that's wonderful. Why don't the other doctors do that? 10% would say, I felt it, but it wasn't the same, pain that they had from the regular needle. It's still better. And I would blame the alcohol sponge and they wouldn't blame me. But it's your mind does amazing things. So try to reprogram your mind. The other is you have to remember you have choices. If you said, I'm going to stop it, fine. Okay. Stop your treatment. I've had people go home and it's amazing. As I said, I always say, how come you didn't die? I left my troubles to God. That's an exact quote from a lady who had cancer of the pancreas and it disappeared. So again, it's deciding what you want to do, but don't picture the treatment as being a problem. And then the chemo, the radiation, the surgery, you will not have the side effects that everybody else has because your body expects no trouble. It's almost like saying to you something I did years ago. If I pick up poison ivy, I don't get it because I've told my body, we don't get poison ivy. So if I pick it up accidentally or bump into it, I don't panic. I'm not going to get a problem. And so again, you can train your body in that way. And believe me, it works. And don't get mad at yourself if it doesn't happen immediately. But because people who are visual have more ability to, communicate that to their body than you might say the intellectual person who has a hard time picturing something when they know it's not true and blah, blah, blah. But you create your truth for your body, believe me. And as I said, you can look at my website. Yeah, I could keep forgetting. Years ago, I made CDs for everybody who were going to get chemotherapy or have surgery. It was preparing them and giving them the routine. It's like I'm their hypnotherapist. So they hear my voice. And since they know me, it means a lot more to them to hear a voice of someone they know. And it programs them to go through a procedure and not have any side effects or difficulties with it. And as I say, medicine is changing because you can't deny the things that happen. Let me put it this way. Often I tell people, read fiction if you want to know the truth. Now that may sound crazy, but the fiction writers are writing the truth about their experience, but creating characters. And in Solzhenitsyn's book, Cancer Ward, the sentences that really impressed me, because he had cancer, was this. It says, one of the men comes into the ward, says, I found a book in a medical library. It says here, there are cases of self-induced healing, not recovery through treatment, but actual healing. See, And it was as though a rainbow colored butterfly fluttered out of the great open book. And they all held up their foreheads and cheeks for its healing touch as it flew past. Only the gloomy Patiev, with a hopeless and obstinate expression on his face, croaked out, I suppose for that you need to have a clear conscience. Boom. You will never hear the term self-induced healing from a doctor, or damn rare. What do they call it? See, you come back to the office, your cancer disappears. Oh, you had a spontaneous remission.
Right.
That's pretty stupid.
Right.
Because I learned to say, how come you didn't die when you were supposed to? And then they told me. I'm laughing now because I have a letter that said all the things this lady did, from getting a dog to God knows what else. And the letter ends with, I didn't die, and now I'm so busy, I'm killing myself. Help, where do I go from here? I told her to take a nap because she was so busy doing everything before she died, she didn't die. And again, it's self-induced. And yes, there's a struggle. You have to get out of a cocoon. You have to pop it open, change into the rainbow colored butterfly. The rainbow is your life in order. Okay? So those symbols are no coincidence when he puts that in his book. And when you get your life in order, get out of the trap you may be in, amazing things can happen.